1 Corinthians 11, verse 31. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged.
It says if we are judge ourselves, then we should not be judged. Because we're judging ourselves throughout the word, you know, with not only the foods we eat, the Levitical laws and things of that sort, but how we carry ourselves and how we move throughout our daily lives, you know.
Right.
We ain't gonna, if it comes down to it, we don't have to buy food on the Sabbath. If we don't need it, then we ain't gonna do it, you know. We ain't about to be popping our woman on the Sabbath. We ain't about to be kindling fires on the Sabbath. We're not about to do what the scriptures say don't do, because not only is it wise, but it's what Yahweh Shem Yahshai set forth. So you can't judge us off of that if we judging ourselves from the word.
And we're constantly examining ourselves,
Right.
that we be in the faith, man. And we're constantly observing our performance in the ministry and how we conduct ourselves as a servants of Yahweh Shai. That's what we're governed by. That's what the Lord is going by, man. And as long as we're going by that, and we basically are watching out, and we're walking in the spirit and not the flesh, then we can't be judged. That's why it says a spiritual man judgeth all things, but he himself is judged of no man. All right. So it says, but when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, meaning these afflictions that we catch as men of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world.
Yep. Hey, he corrects us in a way that we were like, damn, I got judged harshly. Let me correct myself because I must be doing something wrong. But what it say? Despise not the chastisement of the Lord, but he that be without chastisement is a bastard and not a son. But if you endure chastisement, you are the sons of the living power. He deals with you as he deals with sons.
And that's true, because the Lord, when he comes back, he's going to save those, and he's going to say, those are, I shall be their God, and they shall be my sons, my people, right? The rest of the people, they're going to be treated, whether they're two-thirds or heathen, they all going to be judged as bastards, man.
Yep.
All right? They're going to be, the two-thirds are going to die the deaths of an uncircumcision. The uncircumcision, man. You know? So, hey, that's con, man. We being judged now that we don't be judged with the world later. I'd rather go through this furnace of affliction, the furnace of adversity now, than to taste the nuclear furnace and nuclear destruction, man. Or the Yahweh Shai personally zapped me off my toes, man. That would personally hurt, man, for Yahweh Shai, the Lord and Savior, man. The Lord and Savior. All right, the Almighty God, all these titles, the Word of God, you know what I'm saying? The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. That man, in particularly, he personally destroys you. He hates you. I wouldn't want that, man.
Because that's an honorable thing to take the law on this side, you know. Because look at what Moses said.
But what I'm saying, that's dishonorable. For him to dishonor you in that way, man, you gonna have to live with that. Like, that's in the kingdom. If your children ask you what was your lot and everything, what you gonna tell your son and your daughters?
Daddy, you heard you was in America.
Yeah.
How did you get over here? Shai himself came and killed me. That's not a good, like.
That's not good.
That's not a.
You ain't gonna feel right teaching your children that.
Get the hell out of here! Y'all don't punish me. Get rid of them, man. You don't want to talk about it.
That's that shame, man.
Yeah. Daddy, how come we didn't make it? Shai came down and killed me too. Man, I don't want that, man. I don't want that. Not for me, not for my children. Straight up. And you people shouldn't want it for yourselves. It's not a good end to that, man. There's a very big difference between those that make it and those that do not make it.
Yeah, go back to where you was at, brother. I forgot where you was at.
Joel.
Matthew.
You was at Matthew.
Matthew 10:34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
Keep going.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. And
that's part of the affliction. You're gonna turn, your family gonna turn on you because you're gonna turn your back on the world. So they're gonna start not being cool with you because you turned your back on the traditions in the world that they're so used to, that they love and so comfortable in. And it's like, but especially in this time, the holiday season, so to put it, right? This is really when they want to try to bring family together and follow with those traditions. Well, the hell with that, man. You go, well, I don't need y'all for that. I can hold whatever else with my real family, my brother and my children. Hey, bro.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Yeah.
A man's foes shall be of his household.
Yeah.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
These are all those afflictions that you got to prepare yourself when you come to serve the Lord, man. You got to deal with these things. But the affliction of these things is way better than the affliction. Go back to Joel, the 2nd chapter. It's way better than the afflictions that the brothers don't end up reading in this chapter.
Wait, you want to go back to it
There's
right
a
now?
missiles in this chapter.
God,
right?
it is.
Yeah, keep going.
Back to
Because this is the sword that the Lord is going to send.
Yeah.
That he's coming to bring, man. He was back in Joel.
Yep.
Joel 2 and 3. A fire devours before them,
Yep.
and behind them a flame burning.
Yep.
The land is as the Garden of Eden before
Those are
them.
those warheads that are propelled by these ICBM missiles. Right?
And the place was a paradise before, but then after, that
It
shit
was
is
at the Garden of Eden before it, and after the desolate wilderness. About to say
a
that,
desert,
right?
a barren desert.
Yep.
And behind them a desolate wilderness.
Yep.
Yea, and nothing shall escape them.
And nothing shall escape. Only the men of the Lord is going to escape.
Since the appearance of them is as horses, is as the appearance of horses.
As is the appearance of horses. And that was, he's speaking in a similar to it, man.
Yep.
All right? That is talking about the power of the missiles. And
Horsepower.
And horsepower, man.
Yep. There's not much else with more power than horsepower, man, in the ancient world.
Yep.
That's the best he could describe it. Go ahead.
And that's the same horses, the same horsemen in Revelation, the 9th chapter. All right? It's going to be 200,000 of them.
Yep.
That's the weapons of the Lord's indignation.
Like a stampede. Stand before a stampede of horses and watch what go down, man. Watch how much power you feel. The ground is going, like it describes it, right? The ground is going to shake before you. Go ahead, bro.
And yea, nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run.
Yep.
Like the noise of chariots,
Like a stampede.
on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face, their people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness.
Yeah, in darkness, they're gonna be awestruck, man, with the power of what's about to go down. They're gonna be in fear. They're gonna look like they seen a ghost. They're gonna shit themselves.
Kind of like the script say, man's heart's failing them for travail of fear.
Yep.
Since they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb.
They shall run, like basically these horses, which is symbolic of the missiles. They're gonna come like mighty men. All right, they're gonna come. It's gonna be a bunch of them, and the Spirit of the Lord is gonna lead the charge of all those nuclear missiles that's gonna get shot off, man. And you know what? Even though the Most High is gonna put the Spirit on those rulers to press the button, even if they don't really want to do it, the Lord gonna make them do it.
Yep.
Okay. And all those missiles, He gonna guide them, and they gonna bring them all over here.
Yep.
All right. And some of them from Russia, He gonna send some of them down south to that mid section of the earth.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
Says, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march, every one on his own rank, on his own ways, like it. and they shall not break their ranks.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're not gonna run in, they're not gonna hit each
In a
other.
stampede, horses don't bump into each other and they make each other trip and fall. They
It's like-
just run next to each other like it ain't nothing. They ain't worried about it.
It's a unit.
If they turn, they all turn at once. Same thing.
Kind of like if you watch Animal Planet and see the oxen when they migrate,
Yeah.
they all on one accord. They might be taking steps at different times, but they all just together as a unit. If one turn, if the heads start turning, the rest of them gonna turn. They ain't gonna trip over each other, and they not gonna the missiles not gonna collide each other and explode in the air.
Between, yeah. And then
All that's being right now is the prophet Joel is making a comparison.
Yep.
Which
All right.
is beautiful.
He's making a comparison. That's all that
Perfect
is.
comparison.
Kind.
And that's it's coded like that for only the real prophets to interpret it that way,
Right.
right?
And you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it like
And those some cold analogies.
Kind.
Man. Them missiles gonna come like a men in formation.
Yeah.
As a great army going to battle, man. That's the Most High is way out, man.
kind, bro.
Yeah.
You know, that's wisdom right
Put
there.
that type of wonderful writings,
Kind.
you know, in the minds of these men.
Kind. Just like the arrows. When he said they shall be shot into the ends of the world.
That's the spirit, because that's where I was at. Yeah.
I'm holding that too.
No, but keep going.
Kind. It says neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark. And why is that? Because all the smoke after the cloud after they all hit the smoke and the clouds that they make. It says
Just like, let me say, just like in California when the fire, the brush fire, the wildfires, smoke is covering the sky, well the missile fire, the smoke is gonna cover the sky as well. When you can't see the sun and the moon, they ain't gonna let off their light.
And that's how you know it's talking about missiles, because what other destructive device can cause a big earthquake that'll have the whole earth shaking like that?
And then dark in the sky.
But you got niggas that's teaching that, oh, this is talking about the actual armies of the earth. No, it's not talking about armies. There's been wars fought all throughout society. It never caused no damn earthquake.
kind.
A bunch of guns being shot off at each other, that's nothing to cause no earthquake. Nuclear detonations, that damn sure would.
And it's gonna cause a huge earthquake. Cause a lot of missiles is gonna hit at one time, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like just one missile gonna hit that time and no, cause they all being shot at the same time. So majority of the missiles is gonna hit America at the same time. And then you got all them tectonic plates underneath the earth. That's gonna cause all them to rupture. So even if they break, they still gonna be colliding against each other, and the earth is literally gonna
It's,
move.
it's gonna break up a lot of the surface
Yeah.
of the land. A lot of the water is gonna come up and wash up on certain coasts of the lands all around the world.
Kind.
A lot you're gonna be seeing tsunamis all over, man.
Kind. Pieces of the earth is literally gonna literally break apart. The United States is literally gonna break apart.
Yeah.
Cause even if you look at California, that San Andreas fault line, that's gonna get hit too. So you're gonna have places of America like broken, literally broken, like a puzzle piece.
That's why when you go to Isaiah 34, it talks about the line of confusion. You ain't gonna even know what state was what, because everything is gonna be wiped out. Bits and pieces of the earth, of the continent of America, is gonna be, you know, all dispatched from the rest of the surface of the land. You know, a lot of this place is gonna be very devastated, man. You know, was there a little more?
It says the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
And that's how you know this talking about the day of the Lord, because that goes into Acts the 2nd chapter. Quotes that, man. You know how it's gonna be signs in the moon and in the sun and all that, and in the stars. That's leading up to that time, man. You know, all talking about the day of the Lord. And Joel prophesying the same thing that Isaiah prophesied about. That's how you know Isaiah 13 chapter is not talking about ancient Babylon.
Right.
Because Isaiah 13 is talking about the same thing Prophet Joel is talking about. This is all concerning the day of the Lord, what's going to happen in that day. All right, it's going to be nuclear destruction and destruction from the Lord's chariots, man, the angels. All right.
This is Acts 2 and 17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, we're in the last days, saith Yahweh, I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams.
Yep, that's quoting Joel.
And that's already happening.
Yep.
So he's quoting that from Joel. That means that was futuristic prophecy.
Futuristic.
It's futurism. All right, and we've been getting signs in the heavens, man. All throughout the year, we've been getting blood moons, and we have finally got that solar eclipse. You know, and now we're seeing the destruction that came right after. Okay. So you can I think that was it on that.
Did you want to go into the talk about the earth? I mean, talking about the sun and the moon?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna jump down to 20. It says the sun, 19. And I'll show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun's
blood,
fire
and vapor of smoke. All right, volcanic eruptions, wildfires, you know, all these different natural disasters, man. Go ahead.
The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood.
Yep.
Before that great and notable day of the Lord come.
And that's what happened. You have those lunar eclipses, and you have those solar eclipses, man. All right? So Joel prophesied that was going to happen when the final destruction was going to happen. All right? So, ignore the niggly bear pack of niggly bears. Let me get this in a second. That's just real quick dealing with the Missles. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and 13, it says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
God, and this how cold the Yahweh always shot how cold they are, because they set the prophets up like we always say, they're the coldest ghostwriters ever. You know, this is better than any hip hop lyric. You know, because they describing what's to come in these times. That's why when people say the scripts don't hold void, that's a lie. Because everything that's they're writing has been coming to pass. Even though it's here, first off, it's already here, and it's already happened spiritually. We just gotta play it on a physical role. Remember?
It says, I'm gonna jump down to verse 16. It says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again.
It says like as an archer. It's not saying it's an actual arrow, but it's symbolizing the ICBMs.
If it would go back, he would have said like a boomerang or something. But these arrows, they don't come backwards. They're not gonna come, they ain't gonna go and then come back. It ain't gonna do all that. It's gonna go and hit its target, and that's what it was meant to do.
Once it's shot off.
To press the button, ain't no reversing it now.
It's like once you let go of that string.
Too late.
Yep.
Excuse me?
I'm looking for the SDX.
SLS?
That might be it.
SLS is that one.
It's all the way down the strip.
That's
way down there. You gotta get an Uber. Unless you want to walk.
Go hop on the bus or something.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was supposed to go catch a bus for him, but he told me it was just right down the street.
Yeah, just catch a bus down in front of Paris right here.
I'm trying to go to Fremont.
Oh man.
Somebody gave me misdirections. I got a little lost.
Yeah, Fremont's really way down there.
They might even know in there.
He was trying to tell me the best way to go to Fremont. He said something about the STX catching the big ass bus.
Alright. Yeah, right down there.
One right down there, somebody could tell you, because we're not tour guides or nothing like
that's
that.
where the bus is at, so that's the best we got for you.
So, hop on the bus, it's not this way. It's
it'll be going that way. You gotta catch the bus there that way.
So I can't catch it on
Towards
this
the
side.
stratosphere. You know what the stratosphere is? That big tall tower looking thing with the red antenna at the end of the strip.
Everything's pretty much got a red antenna.
All right, man.
It's
All right,
okay.
man.
I'll find a
Yeah,
bus.
you'll find it,
I'm
man.
sorry.
You got it. You got it.
That was a demon.
These gooks are slow as hell.
Yeah, man.
Force attention.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I ain't gonna get it over there.
They just come over
Everybody
here
asks.
lost.
That was a demon, because he ain't asked nobody else. He came to disrupt the word.
Yeah, you do.
That's, it's all
That's
good.
why you guys don't want to come out, man. You know?
I'm trying to find an SLS.
I thought he said SCX. I'm like, man, get the hell away. So I was like, SLS?
That's what I thought. Yeah, SLS.
Oh shit. SLS is gonna be SOL in a minute. You know, all of Babylon's gonna be SOL.
Said, bro,
This is it.
he said, desolate wilderness soon.
Hell yeah.
Coming soon.
Gone.
You had something, right?
I was done with that in second Esdras.
I got another brief. This is Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy it.
Yeah, that's that instrument, man. All right, the nuclear missiles. All right, ballistic and intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. All right, and that's the weapons of his indignation. Matter of fact, somebody get Psalm 7 and 13 real quick to show you that the weapons of his indignation is those missiles. But them niggas in Chicago, they saying that that's not what that's talking about. Get Psalm 7 and 13 real quick.
Psalm chapter 7, verse 13, it says, he hath also prepared for him the instruments of death.
The instruments of death. What is it? The instruments? That's talking about the apparatus, the weapons. All right, the Lord has the weapons of death. All right, and He has many different forms of weapons that brings death, but the ultimate one is those arrows. The arrow is the ultimate weapons of death. Those nuclear missiles. All right, one nuclear missile can detonate, go off, and kill off millions of people at once.
Done.
All right, it's over 300 million people here. So the Lord is going to send 200 million nuclear warheads to kill off almost 300 million people.
That's
You know?
overkill.
That's overkill, man.
That's overkill.
And there's only going to be 100, not even 140, because not all of the elect 144,000 are even here. So it's going to be, there's not going to be a lot of people or men and women that's going to be saved out of here. It's going to be a small few, you know? But you got part of the 144,000 that's going to be safe from it. And then you got some of the 1/3 that's going to be safe from it that are over here. You know, but the Lord got to cleanse, He got to do it. That's hundreds of millions of people that got to die. So that makes sense that He would send 200 million nuclear warheads to Babylon the Great, America, and not to no damn Vatican City, where the population is less than 1,000. That wouldn't make any sense. All right? Finish. If somebody was reading.
Oh, I was reading.
You was reading.
It says,
Read that again, Psalm 7 and 13.
It says, he hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors.
And that's the arrows is those missiles.
Yeah.
That's that bow, man. All right. The other nations, they're gonna carry the bow and the lance, and they're gonna shoot against Babylon the Great. So that's what it means by the Lord coming from a far country with the weapons of His indignation to destroy the land. It's gonna be shot from one end of the earth even to the other. You can't get around that, man. That's definitely talking about a fiery weapon flying from one side of the world to the other side of the world to destroy it.
Hey, like Joel described, it said a flame, a fire before it, and a flame behind it.
Yeah.
Well, the fire before it is that warhead that's going to detonate once it gets over there. But the fire behind it is going to be the propulsion unit of fire, the fuel that burns to get it over there.
Yep.
What else does that? Who else has that?
Yeah.
Nothing else you can describe, even in today's technology time, have both of those.
Nothing that's gonna make the earthquake.
Right. That can be shot from one end to the other. You don't have that.
Not that great. It's Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind. And from it's up. I'm not sure. I think about the quote I'm thinking of. Where it says their eyes shall consume their holes, and their tongues in their mouths.
Zechariah.
Kind.
Which that's another scripture that them niggas are saying that we're breaking down wrong. How do you explain that then?
Yeah.
Well, that's talking about back in the. Since when? Everything had just happened in the past, so we just gotta. We might as well just put the book away if everything already happened. Man.
Most High might as well just make the books evaporate off the planet. You don't need that no
That's
more.
how we know that the Most High took the spirit from y'all niggas, man. You know?
What it is, I noticed this, what it is, not only we're edifying the new fruit that's coming in by these clowns, we're also, they're trying to learn it again. That's really what the comebacks and all that they try to say is really them trying to get the breakdown without being humble to ask for it. Because they didn't stick with them.
Job 20 and 24.
My hands are like hurting right now.
It's Job 20 and 24. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through.
That's that instrument of death that this devil is gonna be trying to run from, and he ain't gonna be able to escape it.
Arrows.
All these devils you see in these suit and ties and
Horses.
yeah, you know, police uniform. They gonna be running for their life, man, and they that bull of steel is gonna strike their ass through.
An image that I just came to mind right now from World War Z was when they was in there and he shot that guy who was trying to kidnap his wife or whatever it was, his daughter or whoever it was, trying to grab her up. And here come the policeman, they were like, oh shit. The policeman running at him, and ran right past him and started gathering up stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
ran like, hey,
Yeah.
the cops ain't gonna give a shit, man. They only trying to save their own lives. They ain't trying to reestablish order. Order's gonna be long gone by that point. Like that one Jake was like, he saw the charity, like, do something about this. Call 911. And then you can do about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, keep going.
It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the
It's
glitter.
drawn to come out of the body. What is that talking about? How do you explain that? That ain't talking about the missile no more now? Y'all going off. That ain't talking about that.
It's coming out the missile silos, man.
Yep.
Come on, man.
The body of the earth.
It says, yea, the glittering sword.
The glittering sword.
Right.
What does that mean? What is a glittering sword, man? Last I checked, a glittering sword is something. It's fire. It's flames.
Yeah.
It's pyro.
Pyrotechnics, you know.
Yeah. Read it again, bro.
It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword
I'm gonna look that up, man.
cometh out of the gall. Terrors are upon him.
The glittering sword, huh? That ain't talking about a missile. Let me look that up real quick. And somebody can get I believe it's Habakkuk 3 and 11. Habakkuk 3 and
I
11.
got the Zechariah too.
You read it right now?
You can get it while I'm looking at
Come on. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 11. I gotta read up. Yeah, verse 8 it says, Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea?
And why is it asking that question? Because he is going to dry it up.
Yep.
He said, was the Lord angry with the rivers? Because why? Because all the rivers is gone. Why would he do that to the rivers? Well, it's the ICBMs that hit the earth, and all that heat, that thermonuclear heat, dried up the rivers in the sea.
It said, was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots
Sources,
of
the
salvation?
horses, they're the horses again.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It said that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation. Thy bow was made quite naked, according to the oaths of the tribes, even thy word, Salah. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. The mountains saw thee, and they trembled.
they got shook. When they heard that them things start flying out. You know Trump. He gonna pull his toupee off his head.
Yep.
He gonna go crazy,
Little
man.
teeth out his mouth.
You know.
It says, the overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high.
And this is really going into the chariots destroying, coming with that judgment, destroying shit.
Yeah.
All right. So not only is the missiles the weapons of the Lord's indignation or the instruments of death, the chariots are too. Okay. The Lord's gonna use both of them on that final day.
Thine horses and thy chariots of salvation.
Yep.
Yeah. It says,
You read till 11, right?
yeah, I'm still reading. I'm on like 10 right now.
Go ahead.
As a matter of fact, I'm on 11 now. It says, the sun and the moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear.
The glittering spear.
Let me keep going. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. So that glittering spear has to do that.
Yep. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's good. Yep.
Now, when you look up sword, glittering sword, it's from the Hebrew word barak, which means lightning.
Yeah, with
It
a
says,
Q.
yeah, with a Q, not with a K like a blessing, but with a Q as a lightning.
Yep.
All right, which is concentrated fire. It says lightning flashes, because the flickering from those warheads. That's what you're gonna see lighting up the sky when it comes.
Or that flash, that big flash, yeah.
All right, it's gonna be a flash in the sky, man. It says a flashing arrowhead, figuratively of a flashing arrowhead. And when you watch that movie with John Travolta, it was a movie called Broken Arrow. Okay, that's what they called a missile that was stolen from their arsenals.
They stole the
warheads.
What was the name of that? The stealth bomber. They stole a stealth bomber, which was armed with the warheads.
Yeah, it's known as a broken arrow.
Yeah.
In military, man. You know, and the Lord, He speaks in analogy, so He's comparing it to that. Okay, it's funny how the way things play out, man. Broken arrow that's in the scriptures. Which really they're not going to be broken, because it says that they shall not break their ranks, neither shall they run into each other. All right? So them arrows, they're going to fly and they're going to land right here on this target. Okay? The Most High going to make sure that all of them hit. None of them are going to miss. Hey, it's a reason why they're finding fault with the missile defense systems that America has stationed all over the world. None of them are not going to be sufficient enough to protect them from the nuclear destruction. All right? Because they're chancing it real big with that. Because who's to say that your missile is going to be able to prevent those missiles? You you gotta hope that those missiles meet in the air perfectly.
Yeah, that's hard. It's like throwing a rocket.
Russia already got missiles that can go around your missile defense missiles, man. They already got that. That's why I read that article. How you're not keeping up with the pace of Russia and China when it comes to your military and technology, man. And you doing the most spending.
Yep.
All right.
Man, catch up.
You might be gathering and making more aircraft carriers and submarines and all that, but they're making the technology that they got. They're making it more advanced.
They got
it has more capabilities than the technology that you got.
They got all kinds.
That's why they have the advantage in this war. The Most High raised them up.
Yep.
Because his purpose is for them to destroy America, man. That's why he's making it to where they're advancing on their technology. All right? And when the chariots come down, the Lord's going to destroy those Russians. Okay? The Lord's just going to use them to take Babylon the Great out.
Exactly. To take Babylon the Great out, guess what? They either going to get some parts of them are going to get taken out, and then they're going to go on, the rest of them are going to slavery. They'll walk down into the kingdom with all their gold, deliver it over, and walk out to the fields to go to work.
That's right. That's right, man. I think that was it on that. That was it on that.
There was something, you hold it right there?
No.
There was a word in the 14th chapter, staves. We said the staves shall break the heads of the village. That the staves are talking about his own arrows. The arrows also.
Yeah. And why is it when you go into going back to 2 Ezra 16, where it talks about it's synonymously talk about the arrows being shot off, and then it talks about a fire being sent. That lets you know that the arrows is what's going to cause that unquenchable fire. That's why it says that the smoke of her torment is going to go up forever and ever. When you read Revelation 9, that's going into destruction of America, and that's why the smoke is going to go up forever and ever. Okay? Get Revelation 9, and then get Revelation 18 and 19.
You want I'll start up at
9 and then like 15.
Yeah, 15. Revelation chapter 9, verse 15. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men.
And that's when after the elect are sealed.
Yep.
Because right now they bound in the river Euphrates, holding back the wind of destruction.
Yep. Because some of them in the Lord are in position yet.
Right. Once all of them are sealed up, which we're, the Lord is about to close.
Right,
he's about to close up, the breaches.
Yep.
Once this tabernacle of David are finally built all the way to its fullness, the Lord's gonna let everything else play out, man. He's gonna release that wind of destruction. Go ahead.
It says, and the number of the army of the
same army in Joel, the 2nd chapter, the same army that's in Isaiah, the 13th chapter.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. 200,000.
Yep, that's 200 million. Go ahead.
And I heard the number of them.
Yep.
It says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and then that sat on them, having breastplates of fire.
Having breastplates of fire.
And of jacinth.
Hey, and this is all in the similitude, man.
Yep.
He's comparing it to a man that's riding on a horse with a breastplate of fire. You think men were literally riding with fire on their damn chest, man?
Like Katniss
when they went to war? Yeah, man.
They wasn't doing that. You know what I'm talking about, that scene, right? Girl on fire, they wasn't like that, man.
God.
This is an analogy of the missiles. It says, and of jacinth.
And who the hell wear breastplates these days?
Right.
The troops ain't wearing that.
Right. It's a bulletproof vest, not on fire.
Because there's no more hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
everything could be done from sniper range.
From drones.
Not from drones. So look, they controlling these drones with PlayStation 3 controllers.
Right.
Yeah.
They're comfortable with that, right?
Emulators and shit.
Yep. It says, and brimstone, and the heads of the horses.
Coming with fire and brimstone.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
It says, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions.
And that's the key.
Yep.
It's coming with fire and brimstone, and the heads are as lions.
Because in a lion, that's the most dangerous part is the mouth.
Yep.
The head.
A lion is known for devouring, man.
Yep.
This is talking about the warhead. All right? The impact of a lion, man. Hey, them nuclear warheads is gonna have the ultimate impact, man.
A lion can scratch you, that's one thing. True, it'll hurt. It really take you out, but it's not, you ain't dead fully till he bites your ass, man. That's when you really get devoured. With the head of the lion, that's why the warhead is where that's at.
Yep.
The missile fire and the side of the whole missile, that ain't no issue. The real issue, it can hurt a little bit, but the real issue is that warhead, man.
And notice all these key words that we're reading dealing with all these precepts.
Yep.
Sword, horses, arrows, fire.
Yep.
Arrow, head, warhead, arrowhead.
So the arrowhead, you ain't worried about the side of the arrowhead, you worried about the arrowhead.
It go back to what you read in Psalms, instruments of
Instruments of death.
Yeah.
All right, same thing. These horses, they're coming with those arrows, man.
Right.
Those nuclear warheads are the heads of those arrows. It's likened as to the head of a lion, man.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
It says, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone.
Out of their mouths issues fire and brimstone.
By these three was a third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstones which was issued out of their mouths.
That's the fire and brimstone. That same brimstone from this destruction right here is going to cause Babylon the Great to be destroyed and turn into a lake of fire that burneth with brimstone.
That's right.
All right? That great city Babylon is falling,
Yeah.
So if you go to that in Revelation.
Let me read one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
In verse 19 it says, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and their heads, and with them they do hurt. Yeah, because the warhead, the tail is where the propulsion unit is at, and that's like the tail of a serpent trailing behind it. But the head was where the power was, and it do hurt. That's where the warhead is sitting at.
That's right, man. Revelation
19.
Revelation 14 and 8, and then jump to read down to 10.
14, 8 through 10.
Yeah, through 11 actually.
Revelation chapter 14, I'm gonna start at verse 8. It says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, that great city which because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Yeah, that's talking about America, not no goddamn Vatican City, all right?
Right.
You don't hear about nations being Vaticanized.
Right.
But you hear about nations being Americanized.
Yeah.
All right? Go ahead.
It says,